And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the last game of today here at the Elite Series 2nd Division broadcast of Rift Entertainment. Once again, and still, I'm accompanied by none other than Harmless Scarecrow. Welcome back, my friend.
Welcome back. After this amazing game, Dynasty taking their first loss. No, wait, Rift taking their first loss to Dynasty. It was such an amazing game. I'm so excited to see Adverse versus Aurora for the last game of the day.
Yes, indeed. Well, as you've mentioned now, Dynasty taking a win against Rift Slavs, and I think this is a good time to look at the standings very quickly before the next game starts, because things have been shaken up a bit here. We can see first spot is back once again at being shared by three teams: Aoma Esports, Dynasty, and Rift Slavs, with the two first teams having joined up today with their wins against Once Upon a Team and, well, for Dynasty against Rift Slavs. And now, before we had Pertinax Esports and Reapers Gaming, which also equalized today, and now we'll be seeing Aurora versus Adverse, which should be a very interesting match as well.
Yeah, both of them are really, really close. Just Adverse has one win over Aurora, if I'm not mistaken. So it could be another even, fifth place after this game. So we have to see. Really excited for our last game of this week. We had a lot of bangers, a lot of comebacks actually today. A lot of comebacks. So I'm excited to see how both of those teams will now play.
Yes, especially since those two teams should be pretty tied in terms of their strengths. So today we really had matches between a lot of teams which are rather close. And we've had a lot of very intense, very interesting, super fun to watch games. And I don't think that the last one will be disappointing on that end. I think this one will also be a banger. And we will see how it kicks off, because here we have the champ select as well.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. Maybe we're gonna see another very fun pick like last game, like the Varus support. Or maybe we're just gonna see a little bit more traditional picks. But we have already the Cassidon banned, just a strong champion. Also Zillion banned again. There's nothing I can say about it. But I didn't say, just enough damage, a lot of movement speed, gets you a level, revives, gives you free GA for like it's just a good pick to get rid of.
Yes, indeed. And we've seen those champs being very strong overall as of late. So better get rid of them. Jarvan now is a new ban. Not one that we've seen a lot here.
Yeah, that's a new ban. We haven't seen that today. Jarvan, but still could be a very focused ban. It could be a focused ban. Just if you play Jarvan well, you're gonna be very impactful on the map and very dominant in the jungle. But we have the Heimerdinger banned again. We saw it last game as support. And again, Maokai, just a super strong champion. We saw it first game. Just deals so much damage, so much pressure with the ulti, the very easy engage, and the Akali ban. Yeah, just
Yes.
Akali always a good ban to have. We're seeing first pick Sejuani. Could be flex into jungle and top lane. Could be just be jungle. So we have to see.
Yes, I'm a bit skeptical of the first pick, Sejuani. Not gonna lie, but I mean, they're the ones who did it. They probably have a good reason as well. So let's wait and see. For now, we're gonna follow up with another Freljorden champion on sides of Aurora, as they pick Nash and now a Vi.
Vi again. We saw Vi today twice, I think. Just a very dominant champion in the jungle to have. Just also really good with Ashe. You just snipe someone with your arrow, he's stunned. Vi just Qs onto him or ults him. Just so much CC, so much damage. And there's the Caitlyn for adverse. Maybe we're gonna see Caitlyn Lux tonight, or maybe we're gonna see Caitlyn Varys again.
Yes, could be. Maybe other teams want to pick up on it. Although I don't think that tier is too warranted. Especially since Haima is banned anyway, so we're not gonna have a Haima Ash bot lane. Oh right, but Olaf was open. And this leaves a lot of flexibility to adverse with that Seju and Olaf. I mean, either could go in either top lane or jungle, depending on what they want. And that Olaf is also a really good pickup. Can deny that Ash arrow can be really good against that Vi. And we're gonna see Varus support, but with an Ash?
No. Maybe. Everything's possible. So probably gonna be Varus ADC with Ash support. That would be the more traditional path. A little bit more traditional path.
But I mean, at that point, if it's Varus Ash or Ash with any other thing on bot lane, it's Tomato who support, who's AD carry really.
And there's the Karma ban again. I think she was banned every single day tonight.
She's banned a lot.
She's just so strong. And there's the Fiora comfort ban for the Olaf. Because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Olaf top lane. Fiora is really good into those champions like Olaf, who just really likes to poke you, but because she pokes you too, but also gains HP back if she hits those vital points. So it's a good ban. Also a really good Renato ban for Aurora. It's just always dangerous to have like an Olaf front line running in. He's about to die, the W, then he just gets the last hit and he's just back to full HP. So it's a very strategic, good ban. And there's the Renekton. Also probably just to make that top lane a little bit easier, but he lets open the Jax, and we already have seen Jax against Olaf a few times here in this division, this tournament. And I think it was always a really 50-50 matchup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, they both have that, let's say, annoying perk of, well, having a lot of life steal. Oh, and we see Darius. We haven't seen Darius yet.
That's the Darius, okay. Okay, that's actually really interesting to see. The Darius, how he's gonna try to win lane against Olaf, and also with the composition that they have. Like, okay, they have a lot of catch. Darius can just pull someone into him and then just dunk him. But it's not really that traditional to go Darius with that style of composition. Oh, that's the Nautilus.
Yes, we get to see a Nautilus here. Adverse picking a lot of engage potential, which also makes that Renata Glass ban even more worthwhile for Aurora.
Oh, that's the Azir. Okay. Azir pick also really good. Can help, like, I'm just saying, like, can help the Olaf to just stick closer to someone, to just keep his ulti active if the Azir just shoves the whole enemy team into him and he can just sustain on them from his axes. So I think Azir is a really good pick. But that's the Silas with the counter argument. That's the counter argument.
With the counter argument. And he's also in for treat. I mean, there are quite a few nice ultimates out there for him, so he's gonna have some fun.
Yeah, he has the Shurima Shuffle, he has the Seju ulti, even the Olaf ulti can just help him a lot, just to not be CC'd. And the Nautilus ulti, just a very easy point and click AoE knock-up. So it's a very interesting draft. Like, I think it's a very interesting draft.
I really like what Adverse is going on in there for them. They have pretty good team fight here. They have really good engage with that Nautilus. We have a Sejuani, which with a Glacier Prison can do some nice stuff, and then you can have that Azir rounded up and deal a lot of damage here. And there is enough frontline for that Azir and Caitlyn to do their work. I'm really a big fan of that.
Yeah, I have to say, I also prefer the draft from Adverse a little bit better. It's more rounded out. Like they have more frontline, they have a lot of damage, they have a lot of stick potential, which is really, really huge for them because they really want them to stay. So Olaf can just run in there. They just have to force him to die so they can continue getting through the back line. So I think Adverse has the edge this round, but I think it's gonna be. It could also be a win for Aurora if they play their composition really well. Because that top lane Darius, I'm really surprised to see that to Olaf. Because I think actually it could be really, really strong if he hits 6 and just if the Olaf just overextends and just over
Yeah.
commits on a fight, he just gets dunked.
He does have the advantage of, well, I mean, Olaf is happy to be low life, and Darius is just as happy when Olaf gets low life. So
Yeah.
it really plays into the hand. I guess it will work really well. And they have this kind of run them down thing going on with the Darius, that Vi, and Silas. They can just, once they have someone, this person is not getting away. And we will see how they are able to use that into this game as we are heading in-game, ladies and gentlemen, for the last game of today here at the Elite Series 2nd Division, Adverse versus Aurora.
Yeah, we might see a little invade here with the Nautilus and the Sejuani. Like they have such a good level 1 with the Olaf. They have just in general a really good level 1 good invade. Maybe see a little catch. We see Ash moving towards the bush.
Very
Already
dangerous
placed the
here.
ward. Do they get the ward? Okay, they saw it coming.
The
They see the
attempt was there.
Nautilus. They see the Nautilus. They see the Olaf. They're just nope. We're not. We're just gonna deny that because we know we're not gonna win that early trade. And we don't want to risk anyone getting caught by a huge Nautilus hook.
And you don't want to give them an early lead.
No, you really don't.
Especially in the early game. I think in the early game that Varus Ash bot lane might have a tough time, because if one Nautilus hook hits, they're gonna be in for a fun time. They both champions have no escape, and even so before level 6, because neither of them have any hard CC. So yeah.
Yeah, so they're just gonna have to play really, really careful. Just stand behind those minions, not getting caught by a Nautilus hook. But
And
what am
there
I
we go,
saying?
we talked about it, and look how fast Mirai is getting hurt there. Ignite is out, he's very low, and now Simon has to turn to Lon, who's dealing a lot of damage to him. But yeah, overall a hook that went really well for Adverse already.
Yeah, that's a hook ignite trade for heal and barrier from Varus and Ash. That's exactly what I was saying. And just a flash trade. Yeah, just the Nautilus knows he has to play that lane so aggressive, because if the hook on the engage lands, it's a GG, it's a kill, it's a flash, it's a summoner. And he just proved it. Level 1 without the Caitlyn trap, without the Caitlyn E. Just so much damage still. Also, just from the Nautilus, we see the Olaf trading Darius.
Ooh,
5 stack.
this could be dangerous.
But
with
it
the
could be very
dance of
overextended.
damage.
Oh, the
This
bleed,
is a
the bleed
close
on
one.
the
I
Olaf.
think that's gonna be first blood
That's
for
first.
Optimalus.
GG. That was really, really close for both of them. But the Darius bleed always has the extra edge. Yeah, it's really good for Darius. Like, that's exactly what he wants in that lane. Just Olaf who really wants to fight in his wave, eats a lot of minion damage, then the 5 stack hits and it just panics because you just immediately feel how much extra damage he does to you.
Here we have Adverse going for that blue buff steal. I think Aurora did suss it out, but they have to be careful.
Oh.
Now Simius goes all in on Licky, takes a lot of damage himself, but so does Licky, and he's gonna die to the hands of Lon, and that's not good for Adverse, because this Varus has a blue buff now.
Yeah, He's not gonna have to recall. Oh, but Syla is also very cocky recall there. Just in Asia's face with no HP. Yeah, he actually has double buffs. He doesn't even have to base for HP. Just has to wait a bit. That's a very dangerous Varus now.
And he's just
Also,
gonna spam Q.
yeah, he's just gonna spam Q and he's just gonna be quite the nuisance.
Max also has to be very careful. And zoned by Risers since the start. And here they go all in. Nice hook hitting both junglers. Also add the call, but Nemo is already really low. Luckily, Symbios is... Oh, shh.
Not enough. Not enough.
Yeah, I would also go further from that turret.
Yeah. Just have to be so careful. Just the Varus Q just goes so far. So you just have to recall really far away from the turret. Also that mid lane just gets denied his recall. Oh, there's the pull from Darius. Just showing, yeah, I won that level 2 trade.
Listen, he's now really well to win that lane. I mean, he's just gonna keep dominating onto Blacks. And here we have Lon being so aggressive in his Varus, using that double buff to its full extent.
Yeah. He should. He should, because double buff for ADC early like this, that's the miracle run. It's just so good for him, especially for his champion. He's just gonna poke so much, he's just gonna sustain with the extra health regen. It's just a really good thing to have on Varus.
They're gonna reset now, cash in that money they just made with that kill and the farm.
Yes.
As Advis, however, very smart about it, suss it out and decide to go for that free Drake now.
Yep. One Drake. That's gonna be quite useful in lane for Adverse on that bot lane. Just an extra, a little bit more resistance in lane. Okay, Varus does shred armor, but it's still a thing that's very useful to have. It's free, and it's good.
And it's done.
It's free and it's done.
And they do still arrive first in lane. I mean, Ximon.
Oh, that's the Hex Flash.
Coming in, they can push the wave in. This will hurt Lon quite a bit. He might risk falling behind in farm here. He have the purchase on the mid lane as Haxu goes all in on Reixa. Misses, unfortunately, the wall.
Misses the shovel. Oh, but that's the Vi.
Symbi is coming in. It's also that maybe a bit too late, as a Vi player might get to them. We hoop the hoop because Licky is right there, and we have a lot of damage already firing onto Nemu. There's a kill for Lon, but you get the return kill on the enemy jungler. You now have to be careful. We decide to fall back a bit. His AURORA bot lane is a little bit more healthy than us. Can push us out.
Really good, actually really good trades. 1-for-1. Just so much damage from that Varus. Oh, that's the engage from Silas.
Here we have the
great flash. Great flash. He instant denied the turret.
Yeah.
Turret shot.
And those two mid laners playing really well right now.
Just a slight CS lead. Asia's side. That's normal. Playing a melee into someone who just stands behind his soldiers and lets them hit you from 5 kilometers away.
Classic Emperor move, that.
Yeah.
Just let the others die for you. Fair enough.
Yeah. So the Varus also not going for the lethality builds this time. Going for the DPS. Going for the shield bow. It's gonna be really, really huge this game, because if he gets caught by a Nautilus, oh, that's a Darius bull miss.
So we have the gang on the top lane as Blacks has to be careful. Uses his ultimate so no other CC can get to him, but he will just be running because 1v2 he can't do much unless Licky joins, because now it's a 2v2. Ulti is overdone. We get the cease and desist that works and Blacks falls down. Now Licky is trying to get another turret, but will he be on time?
Oh,
no.
the dunk.
He gets dunked and dies.
Just really, really well played from Aurora there. Just showing how aggressive they can play with that. They just have so aggressive laners like the Darius. It's gonna be a very rough run for Adverse. Using a Herald, still a Drake ahead, but 2k gold behind. I'm really actually really excited to see a full-on 5v5. If that's gonna change a little bit how this is going. If that's gonna change who's winning. Because right now Aurora is dominating the laning phase over Adverse.
Yes, the top and bot positions being really well placed, and the only one who has a bit of a rough time is the mid lane, but it is not like he's not having a terrible time. It's just, well, I'm playing a melee against a ranged champion, and you've said it before, you're always going to have a bit of a rougher time then.
Yeah. He's just gonna have to accept that he's gonna lose some CS, but he's just his champion has such a huge presence with just the ulti and so much sustain and burst, so I think he just knows he's just gonna have a little annoying laning phase, and then afterwards he's just try to be unleashed.
Yeah, we have Drake spawning in a minute. We might be getting some action around there soon. And well, Aurora with their bot lane being ahead, have a good time to get that on. And Zymbius is ready for it because he's already rotating towards that bot lane. Licky, having sussed that out, is also already there. And the mid lane of Advers is also joining in. And we are deciding to take action before letting it coming to us.
Yep. And Adverse just setting up the dragon really well, just having the Nautilus on this side is really huge for them. But they're not going for the bait play, not just hiding. Oh, but it's to engage.
Razor is forced to use his ulti to survive, but Licky coming from the other side. This is looking really bad for the Silas players. He's getting stunned and dies at the hand of the enemy AD carry with an ulti, but now Zymbius is coming in with Caesar into this. Zeman barely survives it by flashing away, and now we have a full-on fight here, but I think Adverse is going to try and flee from it because they are getting stomped right now. Zymbius picking the kill on the enemy mid laner. The rest of his team is able to make it out safe.
Yeah. Really, really well played from both teams, just getting that catch onto Silas, but then over committing a bit onto him. So yeah, Aurora's bot lane and jungle can just immediately react to him, trading 1-for-1, but losing Drake for Adverse. Or do they? Or do they wait? Does this might
we tried to go for the steal. We had to hook the enemy jungler. This might be it. We do get the shutdown and we can get the smite. However, we are very low and the rest of Aurora is coming in. We have to flash over the wall. And unfortunately, Nemu is going to leave his life there and the rest of Aurora are going to finish up that Drake. Nice try though.
Really well played. It was a really nice try from Adverse to just secure the second Drake. Oh, there's ulti. Missing onto the Olaf. But yeah, it was a really nice try from Adverse there.
Yes, and we will be seeing another M-Tank Dragon.
So, yeah. Just a huge soul to have. Yes, Olaf reset. Actually, the funny thing, both top laners went for Ghosts and Flash. Oh, Groot's ulti from Silas.
Getting him under the turret, but he was very deft here to not grab that aggro and make his way out of range before attacking Haxu. Nicely played from the mid lane of Adverse.
Yeah. Also very unlucky. Silas missed his stun E, his chain, onto Azir and allowed him to just walk through.
Have a fight in the mid lane as he dodges all of the skill shots, but Licky is coming in now. Haxu on the wrong side of the Emperor's Divide has to try and flee Nemu. Unfortunately for him, grabs a minion, and now it's Zymbius who has to believe in it, getting very low, and here comes the ultimate from Zeman to finish him off.
Yes, again, really, really well reacted from Adverse, just seeing the angle. The Nautilus and the Caitlyn just moving towards that mid lane is such a huge play for them. They lose some platings, but they just get that kill on the Vi. Just a trade. Oh, and we have
Another hit on the hook, and Mirai has to flee there very low. Will it be enough? Zeman gets him with the Q, and now it's Lon all alone against 2. He will not be able to do much, but he does a lot of damage. No, he
the
actually gets a
sustain.
double kill, and Leaky has to be careful because that's a triple
That's a
kill going to
triple
Lon.
kill. That's just the value of the shield bow. The shields just saved him, and the sustain from the lifesteal. Really well played from Aurora. That Varus and the Caitlyn, both of those ADCs just are playing out of their mind, playing very aggressive, just going for those fights. And now it was just a matter of items you have. You have the damage from the Gale Force for Caitlyn, but the sustain and survivability from Shieldbow, and that was now the key.
You also get the first turret for Aurora, which are just widening their gap right now. 5k gold lead, equal in terms of Drakes, and now Razor has to be careful because there's 3 people around him, and I think a Cease Anti-Zist is coming. No. Scepter's out of range.
Another unluckily miss from Ashe onto the Azir. But they're just gonna take Heralds. They might just go mid lane with it. Like, I think it would be fair just to go mid lane with it.
Yes,
Just
open up
try
that
to
mid lane.
get that side. Try to get that Azir and then just force turrets.
And Razor still keeping it up in the middle and giving Aksu really rough time, and now having a considerable lead in terms of CS.
Yeah, he's having a 30 minion CS lead. That's very, very dangerous because Sylas does not have a kill. They're actually even from stats, but
okay, we
good
get the
shove.
dive on Haksu, very nice shove, and he should not survive because in the meantime they know the rest is on top lane. Leaky tried to save the turret, but is gonna die for that. And we get turret on the top lane and are gonna get a second charge on tier 2. Meanwhile, Advers do take the mid lane turret. Definitely the good move to make here.
Yeah, just a really good catch on mid lane, but also a really good catch and push on top lane. Just trading that.
And the second turret.
Turrets. Yeah, just overall more worth for Aurora than Adverse. Just open that top lane, just that second, that tier 2 turret just gives so much gold. It's just such a nice thing to have also in such, it's just 16 minutes and they're already open top lane.
Yes, and that's really good for Octomalus because this means now he can join the fun in the team fights.
He's already rating. He's already just...
What's going on? Oh yes, okay, the stun here and we get a lot of damage. I don't think Ryza gets away from this. No, he does, very lowly. Dr. Malus is there. Okay.
You know, they have that advantage for the Drake fight. Asia has almost no HP, so they're just having advantage, just taking
we might
with
get
turret.
the catch on Lon. A lot of damage, very nice wall as we get the kill on the enemy. AD carried the shotgun going to our mid lane, who's already a little in the head. Now, Aksu is also gonna die, and this looks really good for advance, but here has the comeback of Aurora as Octomalus is coming in and dunks on 2 people. Here comes the third one, that's a triple kill, but we get the kill finally on him, and now it's Mira and Zimbius who are forced to finish up by killing Zeman, who got the shutdown on our top laner. And that's well played by Aurora, who turned this fight around.
Yeah, it looked actually really, really scary for Aurora when the Sylas got caught with the Azir engage, but they're just so ahead that they just, even when they're 4v5, they just can't fight it because Darius also has so much sustain and the fight was so clustered. He just sustained on them. The Varus has so much sustain, and he just got his 5-stack and just started dunking them.
I was so sure we were gonna see just him dunking and getting in Panther that way. They were able to stop it, but we can see how dangerous it is now that this top lane is open, because with Octomalus in the team fight, Aurora is terribly terrifying.
It's just the Darius. It's just the power of a Darius. Like, he just stacks his 5-stack on Sejuani, and just starts hitting them and executing them. And he's so ahead. He has Trinity Force, which is so strong on him. Just went for the more dueling builds, not the straight breaker, more catching, running down people, but actually just fighting them full on. Oh, but you have to
Oop.
engage on.
Hyunlin Zeman, who stopwatch, fortunately the season desist, but now
Oh,
Nemo
great
getting a
word.
lot of damage. And so does Yeti carrying now. Aurora looking really good on the mid lane, gonna snag on that turret. 5v3. Advis can't do much to defend, maybe a nice play from Razor, but he has to find the opportunity to. Is forced to use his ultimate defensively. So this is already not a so good start for the defense as Aurora takes a second tier turret, gets a hook onto
Oh,
Slicky, who dies in
great.
a matter of seconds.
Aurora just having that 9k gold lead. You just really feel that in those fights, just how much damage they're dealing and just how quick champions from adverse explode. Just it's not nice to see, but they're just playing so well. Aurora, they're just playing really well.
Yes, and that's too bad. The lead is now so much in the favor of Aurora. Even with finding the right moments to try and get some catches, Advis has a rough time coming back into this game. But now we have objective timers which jumped in for them. This might be the help they need to maybe get back into this game.
Yeah, they really need to get those turrets, to get those objective bounties, just to get them back into the game. Because right now, it looks like Aurora could just run at them, but I'm pretty sure their adverse has an idea how to get back that momentum and get the win. So we just have to wait. We see 3 members from Aurora walking around the Baron, trying to get some vision on it.
But this is a really good opportunity for them. Octomalus is on the bot lane and they know it. And Octomalus does not have TP, so they can try and find the fight. They're sending Razor down to confront him, because Razor should be able to get waves cleared and does quite a bit of damage to Octomalus, who doesn't have any magic resist. And he has also TP, so that's a good
Oh, but
opportunity
there's
for
the
them.
Ashe ulti onto
Is it
Azir. Oh, it missed. Oh, it missed. But really close, because that was probably the idea, just getting someone down, sniping with Ashe, and just Darius all-inning them.
Also nice dodge for Blacks, who dodged the chains there. That could have gone already. Yeah. Now the window
already...
is closed, unfortunately, as Octomalus is making his way towards his team who started Baron.
Yeah, and there's the TP from Azir onto the top lane. So now we're gonna have a 5v5 really soon. Oh, they just... Oh, there's a pull over the wall.
Ooh,
Oh, that
very
was
nice with
such a
the arrow,
great
and now it's
move.
Slicky who's gonna die in a matter of seconds. Can't find his way outside. And actually, now that I think about it, I feel like they always get that catch and Leaky mute him, because I haven't seen much Glacial Prisons up to now, unfortunately. And I don't know, Aurora is really good at taking the right person out of the fight. Like now they decided, okay, we want to go Baron, we'll get that jungler, and they do get that jungler.
Yeah, they're just catching the right person at the right moment. They're just, I don't know, just having the perfect timer. And now, like you said, they catch the jungler, they kill him, instant Drake, instant Baron, and now they have the Baron. Can shove those waves and then prepare the Drake, because they really wanna get that camp tank. So
Yeah, and look how perfect the setup is for them, because the only lane they still have a lane turret on is bot lane, and that's perfect for them because they can work two fronts at once. They can get their push going while looking to set up that Drake, and top lane is pushing anyways. So it doesn't really matter that they're so far away.
Yeah, exactly. It's right now they just have the perfect map state. Like they don't even have to go for the Drake. They can just use their Baron to get the inhib and then move towards the Drake. Oh, but we have a
Glacial
fight.
Prison unfortunately goes Ori, and we have the engage here. Lon, however, starts taking a lot of damage, but it's Razor who falls first, and now the first AD carry of Aurora who falls, and this is looking kind of good for Adverse, as Aurora is forced to be careful here.
Yeah, It was actually a really, really good ulti from the Azir, just getting all of them into the turret, getting that ADC, getting the Varus, just trading Azir for Varus. I think that's actually pretty okay for now.
Here comes the next wave. This is dangerous for Aurora. They cannot let themselves get catched. One hook, one chain, one Q. Getting hit and it's a problem. Yes, Aurora decides to go for that dragon now that it's there.
They're just gonna take the dragon. Probably Adverse might look for a fight onto the dragon, even a steal. Even though it would be quite difficult because Sidrani does not have her upgraded 1200 damage smite yet. So it's just goes to Aurora and they're just gonna push bot lane.
And here we have
Good.
Ragnarok that falls out to dodge those ultis and CCs.
Yeah, also just that pressure that you have when you have to play against an Ashe support or an Ashe that builds a lot of cooldown reduction, because you always have to be careful with those ultis. And we have the Caitlyn ulti who's gonna be cancelled onto Ashe, or did it follow Ashe to the base?
Not sure, but I think it did follow the Ashe to base.
But yeah, Ashe always just giving so much pressure just with her ulti presence, because if you move and you don't pay attention where you're looking and you get hit, you're just stunned for 5 seconds and just, yeah, you could just get up and just wait for your death timer in most situations, especially when there's a Darius, excuse me, a 7-1 Darius who's chasing you.
That is a pretty frightful scene, especially with the Deathlands.
Yeah, he's he's gonna be really, really quick on his feet, just running at you with his ghost. So yeah.
And Flax still on that bot lane, trying to defend it as Aurora decides to go for that turret, 5-man on it. Can't be stopped by Adverse. We take that tier 2 on the bot lane. We have mid lane which is open. So we opened up the map quite nicely, and that's really well played from Aurora because there are no objectives up, but they don't dilly-dally around and just decide, okay, I'm gonna take those camps which take then again so long to respawn, but they actually do try. They huddle up, get the turret, huddle up, do something. That's very nice to see.
Yeah, they're just playing those moments without any objective very well. They just group, move throughout the enemy jungle, take what they can take, maybe hit the turret, pressure some lanes. They're just playing really well as a 5-stack. And that's what now just also giving them the extra edge, because you know Darius will most of the time be with them. He does not have TP. So he will prefer to be with his team. But he's so fat, you don't want him with his team. You want those 5v4s, but he will not leave. Like now he pushed top lane, and we see maybe the Varus and Ashe just shoving one more wave and then going help Darius on the top lane.
Yeah,
So
that's the
yeah,
thing. They left for a bit, but they're immediately coming back close enough to him, and it was
if
done.
he would get caught, he's not really caught.
Yeah, that's the thing, and they did it in such a sneaky way, kind of, that Adverse didn't really have the time to process. Oh, Darius is alone on that top lane right now. We might be able to catch him. No, they really went away, disappeared, were quiet for a second. And here we have
There's
the
another
arrow
great
purchasing. Alright, cleansing
just
it.
a cleanse. Still, that's a great cooldown to get rid of. Just the cleanse. Just the Silas just pushing bot lane. He's like the only one who can allow himself to be not with his team with the TP advantage.
Yes, definitely. And Rakes had to answer to him, but he's gonna back, I think. Adverse is probably wanting to group up there. Max can just keep the push going.
The TP.
Yeah.
Lane.
Baron is up now, so they figured probably that Aurora is going for it soon.
Oh,
Decide to huddle up to find a team fight, but no,
oh, there's a
Aurora does
good
find him. We have
catch.
the Caesar and assist onto Razor, who just TP'd in, uses his Zonias and survives, and now Blacks also survives by fleeing.
There's
But
the
we have
Silas.
Haxu who comes from the side. Nice! Glacial Prison as Nemo is getting very low, and now Aurora is just pushing in and running them down through the base. Now Licky is the first to fall in this team fight, and Aurora just keeps the push going.
Ah, it's just such a good flank TP from the Silas behind them. They did not expect it. He was so quick there, and he just happened to run them down. Because yeah, just really well played from Aurora. Good TP from the Silas player, from Haxu. Getting a free inhib, there's another good engage onto the Azir.
It's very nice. We do get the kill, although he tried to save himself with the Emperor Divide, but we also get the kill on Nemo, and now Aurora is definitely taking that second inhib. No wave there except on the mid lane. They're low on resources, low on health, so they decided to fall back, and they can get that soul.
Yeah, they will most likely now just go play for soul and then just move towards Baron and just try to close this game because they're so ahead at this point. Maybe we get some recalls, or maybe we just get immediately a Baron play, but I think they should just go towards the Baron, take it, or try to fight for it, and then they just have the facility to just close this series. We already have 3 members from Adverse waiting in the bush, hoping someone steps towards them to just get them, but no. They're just too safe.
Yes, they're not risking it, but with a 13k gold lead, definitely queue for it.
Adverse at this point just really has to go for those really risky plays because they're so behind, and every okay play they're seeing, they just have to take it.
Engage, but it's Haxu who gets a lot of damage. Very nicely found from Adverse to get a kill on Haxu. In the meantime, Blacks, however, has to be very careful. We have a very nice Empress Divide here coming in from Razor, separating Aurora in two, but they are still very strong. They take the kill on the enemy top lane, and now the situation has turned around as Octomalus is just taking out the lawnmower and mowing down Adverse as only Licky is able to survive. We have the minions already at the Nexus, and ladies and gentlemen, this should be game as Aurora takes the win against Adverse.
Actually a really good catch from Adverse, but that's what I said. Aurora is so ahead. Even if Adverse just takes those really risky plays, which they really have to, they're just most likely just gonna win those fights. Like they catched Silas. It was amazing, but then it looked good with the Azir engage with the shovel. Then Darius just was too tanky and just started dunking them left and right.
Yes, definitely a Duncan performance from Aurora right now. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what an evening. We've had amazing matches today, one after the other. Congrats to all the teams for playing on such a high level. Very well played to each of them and for giving us such nice matches. Well, I'd say after this match we can take a final look at the standings for tonight and see where we are at now, because quite a bit has changed since, well, 2 days ago. As we mentioned before, the first place is now once again shared by Rifslovs, Oma and Dynasty. Pertinax were able to equilibrate themselves with Reapers, and now at the bottom of the ladder we have a bit of a shake-up with Aurora stepping it up against Adverse, taking 6th spot with 2 wins.
Yeah, today was just a very enjoyable day of League of Legends. A lot of comebacks, a lot of things we didn't expect that would happen, like very interesting drafts, very interesting plays. Just today was a very nice evening to watch some good League of Legends game, and I'm very happy I could share this with you. I share this with everyone who's watching at home, and
yes, the sentiment is most definitely shared. It was very fun casting with you today, Harmless Scarecrow. However, this was the last game for today, so we'll have to leave it at it. However, we will be back next week on Wednesday, once again 7 p.m. for week 4 of the Elite Series 2nd Division here on the Rift Entertainment channel. Now, we'll see you very soon, and without any further ado, I wish you all a good night and a goodbye. See you!